I'm Melissa Stadfeld, and I'm in accountability and research, and I am a part of the learning ecosystem team. And in the learning ecosystem, we've really been working on defining where we are with learning, what students do, what teachers do, what other individuals in the system do, and then looking at where we want to be. And some of the things that we've been able to explore as a team are what other institutions and systems are doing to really help reach their students, and not just as a whole, but work with kids individually to make sure that we're looking at their individual needs and what they might need to help them grow academically, as well as in areas related to life skills, technical skills, things that are really going to help them once they leave our system. And then we've also been doing some reading related to what we might be able to do to move our work forward. So some of that learning has really influenced the work that we're doing in defining that optimal state and where we might want to be a few years down the road as we begin this journey of strategic planning. And in addition to that, really just the dialogue that we're having as a group, both internally and with other individuals that have come in to support our work, or other individuals that we've been able to visit, have really shed some light on some things that we can do to improve how we're reaching students. And not just thinking about replicating some of those other things, but how we might take what's really being successful in other places and think about where do you take those good practices and then move beyond that. So not really thinking about the static things that are going on in other places that are doing good work, and I'm sure they're wanting to progress too, but taking those things and really personalizing it so that we can look forward 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road and think, how can that be just a launching point to get us started? So we really got together and started looking at, what is it that defines where we are as a community of learners, both students, parents, teachers, stakeholders, basically everyone in the system. Where are we? What's working and what's not working? And we really started to put pencil to paper and just listing all of those different things. What do we like about what we're doing? What do we think we can do even better? And then we took all of those ideas and we started to categorize them. Which of those ideas represent kind of where the student is and what the student is doing? Which represent what the adults are doing? Which represent how our community might be impacting what's going on in the schools? So we categorized all of those and then began to prioritize some needs. So which one of these tend to kind of come up a lot among all of these groups? And that work was a little bit messy because there were a lot of ideas about where we currently are. But once we started to prioritize them, we started to see some themes emerging, and then we began to look at, well, if this is where we are, where do we want to be in the future? So how do we plan to get from where we are to where we want to be? So then it was generating a lot of ideas about what are the possibilities? Where do you think we can go with this? And that's where we really started learning from what others are doing and from reading together and discussing that and thinking about, well, what are all of the various iterations of great things that are going on that we might be able to take bits and pieces from and work to develop our own innovations as it relates to teaching and learning. So looking at all of those particular areas, and some of the ideas were kind of far out there, some of them very doable, so it became like short-term, long-term ideas, and again just categorizing and prioritizing those. So based on that prioritization, we've really kind of fleshed out those themes even more, and then begun to look at what are the steps that we would need to take to turn those from just an idea into something more concrete that's actually taking place in our schools.